So what can fans look forward to is not coming?
We've got some returning characters that are pretty cool. There's actually, like, I don't know if you guys are going to be at the panel today. You're going to miss out. There's going to be a little preview. But some beloved characters are going to come back in a pretty cool way.
So, I mean, you got the Wonder Twins in, which I think is great. How kind of random or cool, like, was that just because you were inspired by that, or was that something specific?
No, that was super random. I think it was actually Sam registered, because executive producer was like, "I'm just doing a Wonder Twins episode." We're like, "Okay, that's weird. Sure." It's one of the rules on the show is just like keep it weird, you know. So when he said like do a Wonder Twins episode, we're like, "Yeah, of course." Like, why wouldn't we?
Is there anything you've done that's actually gone too weird?
Yes. They haven't aired yet, but there are a couple episodes where we have some regrets.
Really? But is there anything that didn't make it through?
I mean, there's like standard stuff that didn't make it through. I don't know if you guys have been watching the show, you may have noticed that we tend to kill the characters a lot.
Yeah.
Which most of the time they're okay with. But there have been a couple deaths that we had to pull back a little bit.
The one where everybody dies in a volcano was really surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been crushed. They've died of old age. There'll be a drowning later. It's hilarious. You know, for jokes.
Where do you go for like inspiration for these stories?
I don't know. For me, it's generally. Well, the real answer is the old show. You know, there's just so much to pull from, and it's such a fun universe to pick at. We go there a lot. For me, though, like a lot of the times, like we have our story meetings around lunchtime, so I get very hungry, and that's why you might see like kind of a preponderance of food jokes on the show. Generally, like we started with like sandwiches, and then we got into burritos, and then I think like we're in like a good like taco place toward the end of the season.
No dessert?
No, I'm not really a fan of desserts for the most part. You know, it's kind of an extravagance. I feel like you just want to focus on the meal. That's what Titans is about. It's about focusing on what matters. You know.
With the pizza delivery issue, was that like inspired from an actual thing? It seems like it would be.
I don't know. I mean, do pizza places still do that? 30 minutes or it's free?
Or maybe it's a smaller town.
They do in New York.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly, that was a pitch from Amy Wolfram, who was one of the writers on the original series. She's super awesome and really funny. But I've never run up with a pizza place that was like 30 minutes or it's free. They just give you your pizza like whenever.
I noticed that Robin Breakfast is alive.
He does, yeah.
Is there any particular reason why you thought that was? I enjoy it. I just didn't know where it came from.
It came from the Bronx.
Well,
Yeah, Robin grew up in the Bronx. That's how we do that.
Yeah.
In our alternate timeline.
Yeah. The Haley Circus, straight out of the Bronx.
Yeah. Generally, all that stuff is inspired by our storyboard artists, because in the script it'll just be like the Titans do like an over-the-top dance, or just like the Titans dance. A lot of the show is actually inspired by our board teams and our directors, you know, because like we'll leave the scripts kind of loose. Initially, the idea was to do the show like a premise-driven show, but with our schedule and the way we're setting up our pipeline, it wasn't going to work. So what we do is we'll do like kind of a loose script sometimes, where the action description will just be like the Titans dance, and then it's up to the director to be like, well, what kind of dance are they doing? And that's how you run the break dance.
On that subject, if I can jump in, Dan Hibb is an art director on the show, and I've noticed, like, particularly the backgrounds, but also the character design, there's a lot of Dan Hibb.
Yeah.
So how involved is he in actually like determining what goes in the background of Raven's room room and
Dan is the king of all that stuff. I know, like, we hired Dan because he's such a fan of all things comics. And when we were developing the world, I was just like, go nuts, dude. You know? It's like, anything that he wanted to put in the show, I was cool. You know, and I love, like, as soon as I started seeing him put little touches, and it just started, like, with the characters. Like, he was doing portraits of the characters, like, that they hang on the walls. And there's really remarkable little touches, like, very thoughtful little touches where it's like there's a portrait of Beast Boy as a giraffe with a little tiny raven, like, riding his back. And it's awesome. So, like, when he started doing that stuff, it was like, more, dude. Just detail it out everywhere. You know?
I really like that Raven has so many villains. Like, she's got a Ra's al Ghul and a Etrigan. He's not really a villain, but he's a demon from hell.
We've actually had to take him out of a couple backgrounds because he's so bright. Like, your eye will go right to him. Like, if he's in some Bee Gees. Like, we had a couple scenes where it's like, I think it was in the Trigon episode, Dog Hand, where, like, Raven and her dad were arguing, and he was, like, right in the middle, just kind of like, what's up? And he's just, like, this super bright orange against the violet. So, he shows up sometimes. Sometimes he's gone. And, you know, we just say that it's magic.
I've seen fan reaction. Fans of the old show were adamant that they weren't going to watch the show, and then I've watched the reaction kind of change. We're like, okay, I've seen some episodes now. Now I'm totally in love. I'm curious on your end. Have you guys seen that? What's the fan reaction been like?
I've seen all that stuff. I go online and like before it came out, I was super sad because I was like, why do they hate us already? Don't hate me, man. But it's been really nice. Like at first, it was like it was 100% hate, and maybe there was that one dude who was like, give it a chance. You know, rarely there was that guy. And then when it started airing, there were still people who were like, this I still don't like it. But then there were people who were like, this is funny. And now I'm finding that there are people. Like, every time I see somebody who's like, this is crap, there's somebody defending it. So there's people who like it, and there's people who defend it, and there's people who still don't like it. I'm just glad people are watching it, honestly. I think it's really cool. And I'm glad that, like, some people have turned around, because, like, it's really tough. Like, we did a complete, like, reset on this beloved universe, and that's a tough thing. Especially for people who are, like, there are all these unanswered questions, you know, from the series, and they want to know what happened. And that's not what we were tasked with. That's not the story that we were tasked with telling, you know. So it was a difficult thing for us to do, but I don't know. We're having a lot of fun doing it, and I think that it's showing on the shows now. And I think, and I'm glad that people are responding to it. It's cool.
I've actually seen sort of the opposite reaction. My girlfriend has 2 kids who are obsessed with the new show.
Oh yeah.
And they're kind of mystified by the old one. They're like, it doesn't match up. Like they came to the new one from the Tiny Titans comic book.
Oh, right.
Because like they're like, oh, cute, big heads, adorable.
Yeah.
And now they're obsessed with the new one, and they're like, the theme song's kind of slow on the old one.
We did talk about breakdancing coming from the Bronx earlier. I was wondering how Mixmaster Mike got involved. What was that process like?
I'm not sure exactly. We had one artist lined up, and they were into it. I think it was Passion Pit initially was interested, and then like we couldn't get the deal to work. The guy, like, I don't know, he lives underground in a bunker or something. It's hard to get a hold of. That's not true, guys. Made that up. And then so we started throwing out names of like artists we like, and Mixmaster Mike came up, and we reached out to him and he was interested. And it was like, well, that's great. That totally makes sense because like what we're doing is sort of a remix of existing material, and you know, that's what he did. So.
How soon in that conversation did the phrase "nobody can do it like Mixmaster Mike" come up?
Probably immediately, if I recall. On the scratching team. He initially wanted to be credited as the legendary Mixmaster Mike of the Beastie Boys. We don't have that much room on your credit card. But in our hearts, we know that you are legendary.
Is that fan? I guess at WonderCon there was a fan that came up with an idea for an episode to try and get the Beast Boy, a catchphrase. Is that getting expedited to an episode?
That one, it could possibly be in the hopper for season 2. Okay. Season 1, we're all booked. But you may see Beast Boy Districts come up with a catchphrase season 2. Yeah, keep your eye on it.